There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonkō Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonkō Table, the table that will make their dreams come true. Yo, everyone. The Yonkō Table is up and ass o'clock in the morning. We are here. We're ready to talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. We're riding that high into the wee hours of the night. We are here. The table's about to be fed, and we got a lot to say about this glorious movie, or as many would call it, Spider-Man Endgame, because there's a lot of endgame material in this film, and we're going to dive deep into it. But before we do, with me, as always, is fellow Yonkō GrandMasterHoop. Grandmaster, how was the movie, man? You coming out? Feeling good?
You know, I feel good. I do. There's a lot of good here. I'm just very critical. And, that's just because Spider-Man's so close to my heart growing up. So I will not leave this movie without critiques, and that's okay. I'm allowed some critiques, and I will give them to you on this cast. I sure will, and I will not hold back. I have nothing to hold back.
We would ask it no other way. You have to look at the film through a critic's lens, so to speak. But with us joining on the table as well is Supernova Darce. Supernova, I could see your Shrek background. You're already in the right mood. I love it.
I know no spoilers or anything, but Shrek is in the movie and he goes and he kisses Fiona upside down. It's so fantastic. We love it.
He comes right through the portal and spoils
right through the portal.
With us as well as Supernova Nino. How was the movie?
It was great. I loved it. I got a message for GrandMasterHoop. If he ever gets back from wherever.
All right. I'm sure he'll be with us shortly. And then last but not least, fellow Supernova Rose the Crafter. Rose, you're joining the table tonight. You're ready to eat. I can already tell.
Yeah, I'm ready to eat. Not much to say. Mic check. Am I coming in clear?
Maybe a little bit louder.
How about now?
I like it.
All right. Time to eat.
Right. Time to eat. Spider-Man No Way Home. I guess overall thoughts, because, coming into this film, there was a lot of hype, a lot of buildup, a lot of the trailers, and a lot of expectations of who we wanted to appear. And I mean, in your overall thoughts, you can go straight in. Did it meet the expectations? Did all the characters you wanted to come in? Did they come in? What did you guys think walking out of this movie? Because I could tell you now, all the characters that were rumored to be in the movie, they were in the damn movie. and you don't get that a lot.
It was pretty awesome to get that feeling of like, yes, we knew it. We knew it all along.
For sure. And then you have a lot of these actors in interviews leading up to the movie. They were denying it from here until release. I'm sure you guys have seen the Andrew Garfield interviews. He was like,
Garfield, he came under the most fire. Like, I don't think I saw any Toby interviews. Like, nobody
because Toby doesn't have any movies out right now.
True.
Very true. Andrew Garfield had Tick Tick Boom. I think he had something else come out this year as well. And so with this, people were just like, he was in the public eye all the time.
No, right. I mean, oh man, I haven't seen Toby in practically any movie since I think, oh my God, The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
That was the last movie I see. I doubt that was the last movie he was in, but that was the last one.
He was in The Boss Baby.
He was?
Yeah, he's the narrator in The Boss Baby. I mean, that ain't.
I think I did see that.
Ain't nothing. To
never seen Boss Baby.
I did not watch it by choice, but yeah, everybody was here. Your boy Toby.
Your boy Toby. Your boy. Give Andrew some respect.
We
will
do.
this movie.
Yeah,
We will this
Yeah,
time.
it was good.
Yeah.
Also, we got to make sure that when we put this podcast out wherever, it has to say like major spoilers. Do not listen until you've seen this movie, because this is. I mean, we all knew that these people were going to be in it, but like this was great to see. And I, from Andrew, I got a lot of like emotion from Andrew, and dare I say it, after seeing him on the screen again, I was like, all right, maybe we can do with one more Andrew movie, but I don't know.
Whoa. I'm not gonna take it that far. But what I will say is, I do agree. I appreciated Andrew's take on Peter Parker / Spider-Man, and how that played into the dynamic of the 3 Spider-Man that appeared in this film.
Well, first, am I coming in clear?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Better.
Well,
yeah.
Here's what I gotta say. If we're talking about a new Andrew movie, and Sam Raimi is already coming back in the superhero business, will we finally get Spider-Man 4?
Oh my god.
That ship has sailed.
I mean, we're gonna get
gone.
a Spider-Man 4.
I mean, I guess that's the big question, is that, the ending of this movie, with everything going on in the MCU, the multiverse is a thing, right? And I mean, the animated film's already doing this, but the Spider-Verse is profiting, the concept and the idea of multiple Spider-Man in one movie is cool, it's hot, and you can do a good story.
Yeah.
Do we care to see standalone Andrew movie or standalone Toby movie, or would you rather see them integrated into another Spider-Verse type film? I mean, Jamie Foxx himself even alludes to Electro. He alludes to, he's like, there's got to be a black Spider-Man somewhere. Like, come
he
on.
knew what he was doing.
Listen,
He
the
knew.
MCU, I've been saying this, the MCU is, they're too they don't just say that,
Yeah.
I mean, even as like a meta joke or whatever, once you say something like that, the door is open.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I
speaking of saying something that kind of was like thrown in this movie that we were like, huh? All right, whatever. We're gonna let it slide. There was never an allude to like Ned having magical powers until like in the beginning of the movie. He's like, oh, my parents told me that we come from a line of wizards, so maybe I can do magic too. Like, this was just so thrown in at last minute that, I mean, it was cool to see, and it helped with the plot holes, I guess. So I don't know. Like, what did you guys think of Ned having magic powers?
I think
it was built up more for comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't take
I don't
the
wanna-
descendant thing like too seriously. I thought it was a throwaway line. I thought it was like,
Well,
like he's
it's
trying
a
to-
fun.
He's trying to showboat.
It's a fun inclusion, but it's at the expense of the actual training it takes to work that ring.
Right. It took
Right.
Stephen Strange a while to get it right.
Hold up.
Maybe.
Stephen Strange's hands were broken though.
That's true.
But you can do it with. You don't have to have working hands to do it though.
You don't, however, his mindset wasn't there yet.
And
But
Ned's
Ned's was.
He had the
Confidence.
what do you call it?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess it's
yeah.
like that young, innocent, like confidence, Where-
Yeah, sure.
Or
guess.
he could be a prodigy. He could be a prodigy.
Listen, I'm not mad at it. It was fun. It was kind of tossed in there, but it worked.
I guess, and also too, it's like they really made them integral in this film as far as playing a part and helping Peter out.
Mhm.
They had to do something different
They
to
had to
make
do
it
something.
like work, and versus them just kind of being the man in the chair. Now he's the wizard in the chair.
Or the damsel in distress. Yet
Right.
again.
Oh, well,
That is true. That is
Yeah, and
true.
I think they both did fine. Because again, with these homecoming films, and I guess in Spider-Man films in general, it's really Tom Holland's films where he has a team of people helping him out, versus Andrews had Gwen, she's dead, and then Toby was doing it all alone, except for when Harry came and helped, which
Right.
ended up.
Well, that
him
was mentioned
dying.
in the movie. He said that to Toby and
No, he did. He did.
He did.
I,
He's
I,
always
I
had a
love
team.
how I love how Toby's Spider-Man was still a little awkward, and you could see a little bit of the old, Sam Raimi awkwardness and Uncle Ben-ness
of course.
come out when he was talking about like, oh, did you ever have a best friend? And he was like, yeah, he died in my arms after he tried to kill me. I was like, that's such a Peter thing to
Oh my
say.
God.
He could have put some
Movies.
space.
Peter.
He could have put some space between that. He could have said, "Yeah, we had a falling out, then we reconciled, and then he died in my arms." Versus, it sounds like
Yeah.
The
after he tried to
delivery.
kill me.
He
So
died.
what? Did you kill him? Did you kill him? You know.
There, you definitely got the awkward vibes from Toby's Peter, and then you also got it from well, not awkward vibes, but like from Andrew. I got
Yeah.
Andrew's take on Peter Parker, and love him or hate him from the Amazing Spider-Man. I'm with Rose, where it kind of makes you look back in retrospect and like, I guess kind of like looking rose tinted glasses a little bit at
Oh
the
my goodness.
amazing at the amazing duology, because it's like, wow, were they really that bad? They were that bad.
They were that bad, but
They
we
were
can
that
at least
bad, but you know what?
appreciate
I
the
gotta say,
attempt.
His like small appearance in this, not that it was that small, but like his appearance in this kind of like was a redeeming factor for Andrew.
Very.
100%.
I mean, I could also be biased because he did such an incredible job with Tick Tick Boom, and I just watched it right before
But
this.
I haven't seen Tick Tick Boom, and I agree with you. I haven't seen it yet.
Okay,
I will
good.
watch it, but I agree with you that it was definitely a redemption for him in
I
that
mean,
role.
He's always been a great actor, Andrew Garfield. I guess it's just the films.
direction.
Right. And Nino always points this out to me too, is that, yeah, it's the direction of those films. He's just a good actor in a bad film.
Phenomenal.
This was his best outing, I think, as Peter Parker. And he's only in the film for what, 20 minutes?
Mhm.
30
Yeah.
minutes tops?
He delivers on all fronts.
And it worked. It worked. Like, we call him the jerk Peter. I didn't think he was a jerk.
I didn't get that vibe at all in this
the only
movie.
The only time I thought he might have been a jerk, he was really slow to clean those cobwebs. I was like, dude, come on, man. Just
He still had a little bit of his jerky.
He's still
Yeah,
adjusting. He's like,
listen.
dude, what am I here for?
At least he went to go clean them. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man didn't even. He was like, "Oh,
They're
I'm not
the
even gonna do
organic
this."
so awkward.
webs.
Oh my god, I'm so glad they addressed that from all three of them, just pointing at, oh my god,
They
your
had
webs
to.
are organic. It's one of those things where, like, the fact that they're all on screen, you're like, all right, so they're all on screen, that's enough, let's move on. No, they got some interactions that, like, they could have easily have glossed over, but they didn't. And they really harped in on how exactly do you make those things? Because I make my own. And I run out sometimes. Sometimes I get a web block. Do you get web blocks? And he referenced Spider-Man 2. Yeah,
Yes,
I did.
yes.
I did
Existential
get them.
crisis.
Existential crisis.
Oh my god, it was that interaction scene on the Statue of Liberty was priceless. I love that. Andrew
And
popping his back.
And you know what? I mentioned this a lot about like where I think Batman films go wrong or just Batman stories. But this movie really tried to rehabilitate these villains. He really, and I think it's really rare nowadays to see a superhero movie where he's just trying to do the kind of thing. He's trying to save as many people as he can. You don't get that a lot in in other superhero movies.
Oh,
like even
man.
Doctor Strange was even like, oh,
It's their fate.
He's very
Yeah.
Doctor
their
Strange.
fate.
He was his character.
See, Nino, back when you just said, no, I don't really like Batman because he's just a guy beating up on a bunch of mentally disturbed people. Now you
Stay
look at,
focused.
no, I'm just saying when you look at it, look at that.
I mean,
idea,
that's a good
focus.
point because
when you look at the idea of this film, that is
It's-
what was going on. They were
and
all
May points that out. She's like, these guys aren't really right in the head. You can't just, let them
Beat
die.
up.
Right. And I guess that is kind of the folly of the original films. Now, granted, with that said, Green Goblin killed himself. Doc Ock unfortunately killed himself.
Well, he died heroically trying to like stop the thing from
Right.
blowing
The
up Manhattan.
reactor.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then what? Sandman never died.
He never died.
Yeah.
But what I will say is this, is that in the movie did this too. Tom Holland's Peter was probably thinking in his mind, how are all these other Spider-Mans just killing these people? He hasn't really had that kind of blood on his hands. And once all the Spider-Mans came together, they all kind of seem like they want to help. They didn't necessarily want to kill their villains. It's just a situation of what happened. And they kind of lightly touched on that in interacting with Tom Holland's Peter. And then it clicked for him. That became a bonding moment that I think is really slept on in the movie. It's very subtle, but Peter thinking that he is slightly different, as in he just has this responsibility. And he's the type of person where he wants to help. And it's not just like what he has to do. It's another way. But you got two other Spider-Mans who are in completely different situations. And it's not that they didn't want to find another way. It's just stuff happens. And that's just what happened in their universe.
This movie is the movie for second chances. Like now that they mentioned it, that like everyone can get a second chance at the Statue of Liberty. And then this is the second time that the Statue of Liberty is being built. And then it's a second time, for Andrew Garfield Spider-Man to come in, and there's a lot of redemption in this story that I just love it. I love the message that it was trying to send.
Yeah, I mean, even
cool.
Toby had that second chance, like you're saying, trying to save Goblin, because Norman was kind of like a dad to him until he turned into the Green Goblin.
Well, that scene was really good too, because again, Peter said, how I went to go after the guy who I thought killed Uncle Ben, and in that rage, that guy died. He stopped Peter from doing what he was doing,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Now about that scene.
Which scene?
I think Toby should have died.
I think so too.
It kind of took
It
away.
was weird. It was weird.
Okay, take away the stabbing, because once you put the stabbing moment in and not kill him, it kind of takes away from the tension that was built from that stabbing. You know what I mean? Like, I think they could have just ended it with Toby stopping, and Tom was going in for the kill. I think people are forgetting that.
Hold up, that Norman Osborn needed that whooping.
He did.
No, he needed the whooping. He needed the whooping for sure.
I mean, just because also he was tossing Tom Holland around in that kind of
him through multiple floors.
Right.
I never got that vibe from his original outing as the Green Goblin.
Are you kidding me?
Him being powerful, slamming through 3 floors.
Yeah, dude, man. Yeah, he was literally like ground pounding him through.
Go to the final fight in the original Spider-Man, and Norman Osborn is beating the living shit out of Peter.
Yes, but he's not kicking him through a wall.
Yeah, actually, there's a scene of him kicking him through a wall.
Let me rephrase. He's not kicking him through a dilapidated wall. He's kicking him through a 21st century solid concrete foundation. Not some rundown old church. This dude was whooping his ass.
And I liked it. It created tension. I'm like, wow, he's actually struggling.
And that's just modern architecture.
Wait a second.
For you.
Didn't he get he created a serum in Happy's place?
I couldn't.
And he injected himself with it.
So were they under the impression that was the cure? And it
wasn't because it could have made him even stronger. He was the one creating the formula for it. So
and it was green. The cure was red for him.
What? Oh.
Oh, I did not know.
He could have just enhanced himself even further.
He had already beat the mess out of Peter by then.
Wait a minute. In
it was right before that
original Spider-Man film, remember that there was like plexiglass of reinforced glass back to formula. And he just throws the guy with
He
one
throws
hand.
him through. Yes.
He throws him through.
Are you
That's
saying
right.
so that strength is accounted for?
I mean, Green
Yes.
Goblin is supposed to be strong, so
He is.
No
Yeah,
doubt,
yeah,
no doubt. I
yeah.
just don't think we have seen Tom Holland be put through the ringer like
that.
it's true.
Right.
All right, so
Right.
out
It was
of
brutal.
all of the villains that came through, which one was the strongest and which one was the weakest in the sense of character?
Lizard was weakest.
Oh,
in sense of
Lizard.
character.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
They didn't have
Right.
much to do with Lizard, so they just kind of had to go ahead and.
They left him in a
leave there.
truck.
Yeah,
For-
they had to
Yeah.
cage him up until they could cure him, basically.
I mean,
the
in the
more
grand
interesting
scheme,
villains.
in the grand
Yeah.
scheme, they couldn't bring him through the front lobby.
Right. I think I do agree that Lizard is the weakest. I feel like Sandman.
I thought
feel like
Sandman.
he flip flopped way too much.
Sandman,
For my
Sandman was a
taste.
weird inclusion because
He was very
It was.
weird
But he was there to help. I just feel like it was the. Yeah, it was weird.
because
I mean,
like
but
he
it
comes
helped. It
in
helped
first.
fight Electro at first, though.
Right. He
Yeah.
Because
comes in. He's like,
how do you fight Electro at first if you're Tom Holland, Peter Parker? Like that would take a lot of figuring out to do on the spot.
it would. He comes
mean, he
in.
would
He
just
just helps them.
Develop an electric suit in Happy's thing. And
Would he be able to figure it out in time?
Yeah, probably not.
That's
Yeah.
true.
That would.
Um,
take
He
mean,
thought he was
a lot.
going after Goblin. I mean, but also, you know, if you want to point pick a hole with that circumstance, there's a bunch of other circumstances in the movie that kind of just happen. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like the Ned opening the portal to the wrong Peter Parker, but it just works.
Yeah.
It just works.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just.
So
they
wait, how many
opened it.
villains were there? 5 or 6?
There were 5.
I don't think they ever hit 6.
They never hit
So
6.
never made.
Technically, there was 6,
No.
just only 5 that Peter interacted with.
Who was the
Because of
6?
Venom.
All right. I see what
Yeah,
you're saying.
no.
I see what you're saying.
Venom
What?
Venom didn't make it to the party.
Oh,
No.
he
Bro.
was in Mexico. Didn't count. Different
But I don't
Didn't
think
count.
Venom would have been a villain
country.
I don't think.
Why
he
not?
would've either.
Why you say that?
because in those movies he builds himself up as a hero.
It's not the same Venom.
It is the
But
same
also,
Venom.
Not the one that's
But
left
also-
over. It's not. It's just a
but
piece
in
of
the
the
comics,
symbiote.
Venom.
Okay,
has-
yes, the
kind of the
symbiote.
same thing
Oh, you're
going.
talking about the symbiote, the piece that was left.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have. I felt like they could have busted out Michael Keaton out of prison to
Well,
join.
they're
us.
saving Michael Keaton for Morbius.
Just
I
to
know.
round it out as the.
But they could,
Sinister
though.
Six.
But
Yeah.
Liz was in the People's Magazine. His daughter.
I mean, yeah, Liz is the character is
He was on
technically
front of the
still
People's
around.
Magazine on the
I did not
stand.
catch that. Oh man.
But I guess the
Right.
story didn't want to bring in the current universe villains.
Well, that's a lot. That's already a lot of villains to juggle with. And what I will
Yeah.
say is the juggling of villains is still a struggle. I think they still pulled it off the best way they could.
Right.
they
but it was
pulled it
still
off
a
better
struggle.
here than any of those other
Oh,
films.
1,000%.
Oh,
and they had more
1,000%.
villains here, which is
A
crazy.
I mean,
1,000%.
I did not
this-
really care for the nanotechnology controlling Doc Ock's arms for so long. I thought that was like a little like. Oh,
I feel like
man.
they harped on that a little too long.
Yeah.
Well, it was a plot
just-
device. 'Cause, you
It was
know,
a
Yeah.
plot device. I didn't think, I don't know. I just didn't want him restrained for that long. You know, I wanted some more chaos with him because he is unpredictable. I did want to see him, you know, trying to best Peter with those tentacle things.
It'd
but
be
oh,
too
the-
much to handle. Peter
It-
would
Yeah.
lose.
That's not. That
Nano
wasn't the
suit.
point of the movie. The point of the movie was helping these villains,
Oh yeah.
not fighting them.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure. I would have preferred them portrayed and just, I guess, I don't know. But obviously, out of all of them, I think Alfred Molina and Willem stole the show as the returning
Yes.
villains for sure.
I think Jamie Foxx did a good job too.
yeah, I was gonna
'cause
say I think Jamie held his
did.
own.
And he had so much power that he gave himself a fade. Energy can do that.
He got the
I
glow
mean, he
up
fixed
he
his
always
teeth last
wanted.
time.
I mean,
He's like
fixed his
I like this universe. I like this power. I'm sure you do. You got a fade. You
Which
got a clean
actually,
cut.
that alludes to something because
The fate.
no,
I was gonna
the different energies in different universes, because I think it was
He came
what's
in
the name
blue.
he came in blue. He's started off in blue, and then when he absorbed the energy in this universe, he started to become like electric yellow.
Yeah.
But what's her name from WandaVision? she also brought that up. What's her name? Spectrum.
Rambo?
Yeah, Rambo.
Monica.
She
Rambo.
or yeah, Monica Rambo.
Maria?
No, Monica.
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 Yeah, Monica. Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad.
We know what
Anyway.
we're talking about. Yeah.
Monica was talking about that too. She was talking about like, oh, there's like different kinds of energy, like that I can sense and that I can feel and that I can see. So I feel like that might be alluding to something in the future as well, that there's different types of energies that like are present in the universe. I don't know, but I thought it was actually kind of cool that when Doctor Strange was trying to close the portals, you saw the silhouettes of a bunch of different Spider-Man villains that we know from like either comic books, video games, TV shows, like whatever you know Spider-Man from. I saw Rhino in there. I saw Kraven. I saw Scorpion.
There was a
Anybody else
guy
see
with
any other
like a scepter, like a spear or something.
Yeah,
I saw a
And he
scepter.
was huge. And I did not know who that was.
I didn't either.
And which is crazy because, I mean, that's a tease. Because again, will we see the multiverse? I hope so. I don't want, because again, the Spider-Verse animated films are already doing the Spider-Verse thing. I don't want to see it on both fronts.
I don't mind.
But I want to see those villains come in. I don't think they have to keep doing the multiverse to get us coming to these films. Like, let the animated ones be the multiverse. Bring in the multiverse when it calls for it, you know.
One thing
And-
that I was a little disappointed in not seeing, we didn't get Spider-Gwen. Emma Stone didn't come back. We didn't get Kristen
It's not
Dunst
about
back.
her.
We didn't get any of the females from any of the other movies back.
What's Kirsten Dunst gonna do? She's gonna be like, okay, Enrique, I get you. Better watch how you talk to me, Miss Watson.
No, what do you call it? They needed someone to fall off the Statue of Liberty. Might as well get Kristen Dunst to do it.
Oh no.
Of course.
She is the quintessential damsel, but Gwen is. Say what you want about Gwen. I always found her character dumb. Why are you running over here, getting into the midst of this battle just for you? Come on.
Girl,
Because
Come on.
But that
You
was her
massive-
character. She because she had the power of her mind. And what did we learn from this movie?
yeah.
Yes.
It wasn't
Yes.
Gwen's film to come in. This wasn't. This was.
I thought it would have been cool to see Gwen come in at some point. That's just me. Even if it was Bryce Dallas Howard, I wanted to see a little bit of Gwen.
This was all about moving
The Peter.
Tom's forward in his Spider-Man identity.
I thought that he might even bump into a girl at the end, and then him be like, "Oh, hi, I'm Peter." And she goes,
No, they would have took it too far.
No.
That would have been
I
too
think
far.
They really
No.
wanted. You know how you know what this level of depressing it is for Tom Spider-Man. Like
yeah.
that one episode of Fairly Odd Parents when Timmy Turner wishes that he wasn't ever like he never existed, and the world everyone got better because of it. That's how I felt.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then what do you
Right.
call it? He just sees that Ned and MJ are doing better without him. That's honestly actually
It's
terrible.
heartbreaking.
That's
It's
And he
Oh,
heartbreaking.
doesn't
100%.
interfere.
This-
That's the
This
worst.
ending low-key left me like empty. Like I was like, "Oh my god." This
Oh yeah, it
is-
felt terrible.
What
for
What do
him.
you do? What do you do from
Yeah.
here?
Well,
You're-
he has
you're-
no parents. He has no aunts and uncles.
nobody.
He has no best friends. He has nothing right now.
He has
Nope.
an
All he has is
apartment.
Spider-Man, and then people know who Spider-Man is, but they don't know who Peter is.
He has the rent that's going to be due at the end of the month.
Rent.
Rent?
But
It's
out of
very
it,
sad.
out of it,
Peter.
will come greatness. We are now
And
in a beautiful
we got
chapter
we
of
got
Peter's
the
life.
quintessential Spider-Man suit.
Oh my
The,
God. They
the
went
original
classic.
color.
Yeah, the classic, and
They
he
went
sewed
full
it.
classic.
No Stark Tech.
Yep.
And
No
that's
Stark.
what I love.
Rose,
No more
you got what
reliance
you
on
wanted.
Stark.
No
That is what I
Stark.
wanted. And like I was telling, like we were talking about, I appreciate the build up now. I'm not as mad that he was Stark's understudy for so long.
And you know, I
Everything
think
progressed had it needed.
a lot of people felt that way. A lot of people felt that like these Spider-Man movies were just like Tony Stark 2.0, you know? And this kind of resets literally everything, except no more Aunt May.
Yeah, now they can just hand it to Riri.
Which, since we mentioned it, how do we think the Aunt May scene was handled? Did we see it coming?
Okay,
no?
I didn't want to say it. I know it was a classic moment. It was a heavy and impactful moment, but I can't say that it was the smoothest way to deliver.
Really?
This passing of the.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I think the main issue is, despite having been in 3 films, she's really not that prominent as of a character. I'm sorry, 4 films. I stand by this. Her interactions with Peter, as far as we've seen on screen, are very few to none. Like, in all honesty.
Because I mean, we had some good interactions in Far From Home.
In Homecoming.
Where is she in Far From Home, other than the beginning? And she tells her to pack. She says, "Pack your suit."
No, because she also was doing the charity function, and she was.
That's in the beginning.
Yeah.
And after she says to pack your suit.
Yeah, but I mean, like, we have some interactions with her, like. We didn't have Aunt May is
the thing that Peter relies on the most. You know, she is the person that Peter relies on the most in these films. Like when he's down and out and has like, it's really bad. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
It's a little fuzzy when you start talking.
Yeah, just some multiverse static, nothing too crazy.
We're gonna get Nino.
What I am saying is, the scenes we have with Marissa Tomei as Aunt May.
Also, why bring in a younger Aunt May if she's gonna die?
It was to deliver an iconic moment.
Yes.
That we never got, which it begs the question, you know, did Uncle Ben just die and that was it?
Sounds like Uncle Ben just died.
That's what it seems like. It was like, oh yeah, I lost my uncle. Anyway,
I'm with that though. I'm fine with that though, because we already got enough iterations of Uncle Ben, so that's okay.
And I think that is my mic better?
Yes.
Okay. And I think that when Uncle, you know, because he has that scene in Civil War where he explains basically like when you have the ability to do things and then the bad things happen, then it's on you. But I don't think he understood the meaning of Uncle Ben's death until now, until he's lost everything, until someone literally looks him in the eye and tells him, with great power comes great responsibility. And I think that's what we were building up towards, because he's always known this, but he hasn't come to realize it in his life.
And we don't know is if Uncle Ben in this universe was in any way tied to an action done by by Tom in this universe. Right. Then every movie that we've seen, whenever a loved one or specifically Uncle Ben has died, it's always been at a fault, quotation mark, of Peter. This, we don't know what happened with Uncle Ben. We don't know how he died in this MCU universe. But with this was Peter's, quote, fault, in the sense that he wanted to help these characters, these villains, and look where it led. And
she wanted him to as well. So the scene is still powerful. I don't think it's the smoothest, but I think it's still a powerful scene.
I think this is actually
only in this movie that we saw that part of Tom, because Tom always took the great responsibility and the power, but it wasn't until this movie that he's like, no, we should just let them die. And she's like, no, with great power comes great responsibility, Peter. You know, like,
and
what other movie do not have that kind of mentality?
Yeah. And I think, and you know, I'm really gonna say it, that I think, dare I say, this is a more impactful lesson than having Uncle Ben die because of Peter's actions. Like, this was not Peter's direct actions, like him messing up, you know, him choosing to be bad. This wasn't that. It was Peter choosing to do what's right, and then to see it through to the end.
And
Yeah,
was
but-
encouraged and was
Peter-
encouraged by her as well too.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the thing is that she still died because of Peter, you know. So Peter still has that guilt.
Oh yeah,
Like if he never involved her into all of this, just like he involved his other friends into all of this, he wouldn't have lost everything, you know. So at the end of the day, it's still the same story. It's just this time it's a different gender.
No, I wouldn't say it's a matter of different gender because again,
You know
Uncle
what I mean?
Ben's-
Like it's not Uncle Ben, it's Aunt May.
no, Uncle Ben's death was a direct result of Peter's negative actions. You know.
Okay,
This,
but like still a direct reaction to Peter's actions of including other people into his.
But again, it was
Spider-Web.
positive. It was positive.
It was
though.
through a
So
it was through a
remove-
positive action as opposed to like in the old movies where it was something negative that Peter
I
was
understand.
doing for selfish purposes.
Right. It's
And then
still a
the other
parallel
thing-
though. Just
It
remove the
is, it
positive
is.
and negative and just make it a decision making thing. That was the
Right.
connection they were trying to make.
Yeah, I would say the decision making is big because you have a guy like Strange who's telling him they need to just stick to their fate, and Peter's trying to do the good thing, the right thing, and he plants his feet down and he says, I'm an immovable object. This is the right thing. I'm gonna do it. And
Also, that also begs the question: is it the right thing? They're going back to their multiverse to die anyway.
no, they're not.
No,
Because
they-
actually, we
they're
talked
not.
about
They're
this.
not.
They're not going to
And
die.
Marvel has prepped us for answers to why they will not be, because there's
Right.
a new
Because
timeline every time something happens.
if what do you call it? If Willem Dafoe's Goblin goes back to right before Peter kills him, he won't die because Peter doesn't kill him. He kills himself. The Goblin, without the Goblin is the reason why he dies. Doc Ock is the reason. If Doc Ock can control the arms before the machine gets out of hand, if Electro doesn't have his powers, so he goes back and he's not going to like overload into the system.
Right.
And
My thought is-
we just gotta
But
be
then,
grateful
like,
for
isn't that the
Sandman.
whole point of the TVA? The TVA stops that type of stuff to keep it.
The
in
TVA is a mess
actual-
right now, though.
But remember the
TVA is in
TVA,
shambles.
TVA is a mess. So what's
Right.
happening
Down
is
with the
that
TVA.
we're having
This
different,
is
we're having
causing
different.
way too many different butterfly effects.
But that's
And
exactly what's happening. So they're gonna go back into the universe that they might be familiar with, but it's gonna be an alternate timeline of the universe where they
Right.
don't
Right,
die,
it's-
where they have a different thing.
It's all it's creating is just variants.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're
which is
absolutely right.
That's what it is.
What
Well,
happens to variants?
I have
new
no clue.
timelines.
Yeah,
They
it's a
get
brand new
eaten
timeline.
by a cloud.
But without the
Now-
TVA,
Oh, well.
they can't keep them in check.
Right.
There
And
it
I
is.
mean,
down
it's
with
not
the
like
TVA.
It doesn't exist. The TVA is still existing. It's still operating. They just don't know who Loki is.
Listen, man, we now have a timeline where Norman's going to be a good father.
Do we
I'm here
know?
for it.
I'm
I'm
a
here
mad
for it.
scientist
I
myself.
mean,
I'm here for
I
it.
can see. I can totally see in Loki season 2, like they have to go by and erase all of the Spider-Man villains that came back. Like
They ain't going to do that.
They will.
Kang is coming. They
is
this
coming.
worried
was
about Kang.
a stretch in the plot point, and I'm like, do they really? I don't know. Like it's you're just
Listen,
causing way too many holes in the timeline. Because
I
if you're gonna go
doubt-
back and
I
change,
doubt they're gonna
But-
bring these characters back. Or no, I doubt that they went through all this trouble to fix these characters and get them in the right state of mind to just send them back to just die
But
the same
I mean, I can
fate.
understand like the closure of like I'm not gonna die a villain, like I'm gonna die like a better person. Like okay, sure, that's noble, but like
But then
I don't
couldn't you
know.
say Alfred Molina died the same way that he died in Spider-Man 2? He died
I
a
thought
noble
he
death.
died a noble
But
death.
we gotta go back in because it's not really about them. Like what happens to them, Spider-Man really doesn't, Tom Holland really doesn't know. They
He's
really
giving
don't
them
know.
that chance.
He's giving
He's
them
giving
a
them that
It
chance
is about
because he
chances.
believes he should
In
just help him in the
second
current
chances.
time.
They
that
might
they're
die
in.
again.
So
They might.
we just kind of have to like, we don't know what to do with that external information. We just got to go back inside to what's going on with Tom's story on that. It's just one of those tricky things. It's there's no answer to, well, I guess there is could be.
I mean, this might be bad, but I side with Steven on this one.
Oh,
Ooh,
so
the logic.
surprising. So surprising.
So logical. Which I mean, I guess we can tackle like Steven. Like, how do you guys like Steven's inclusion in the movie?
Yeah, let's talk
'Cause,
about
like,
that and the relationship.
and the relationship between him and Peter.
I loved it.
I liked it. I mean,
I liked
well
it too.
done.
I do think it was kind of gimmicky that this whole ordeal was just because Peter couldn't shut up during a spell that Stephen
sounds like
was.
a very Spider-Man thing to do, though.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess I just have to take it. You know, just it happens.
But the
It
thing
happens.
is, like, I'm like, if I was Doctor Strange, I'd be like, oh, Ned's your best friend. Okay, tell him again. Like,
just tell
I'm
him
not
again.
changing.
Yeah.
I'm not
See,
changing the spell.
He raises a good point. Peter should have been very clear and very specific about what he wants. But then again, Strange says, you know, despite us saving the world together, you are still just a kid.
Exactly. He forgot
Mhm.
that he's still a kid. And Strange
Right.
is like another start in a lot of ways. So
And
Oh, very
also,
much.
Strange could have been a little bit more forthcoming with this information. Like, he was just like, all right, let's do it. And Peter was like, thanks. And he's like, nice knowing you.
Well,
don't
I mean,
just-
Wong was like the, what is it called, the red herring or something? Like, he was the warning sign. Wong was like, yeah, but like, we don't really know what the spell does. Like, be careful. And he's like, yeah, we used it in your
Blue Moon
Had
Party.
full moon party, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't
So-
you remember? No.
No. Nope.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know. Like, I think this was. I just sided with Strange on this one.
There is
Also-
a logical side to
Well,
it.
But you don't
That's-
get the growth from Peter that can really impact down the road what could happen. He
I mean,
still
I
would
think-
have to have something to make him. He took a big maturity leap. It was a sad one, but he took a big leap in character
and
Yeah.
it was
and
risky.
redemption.
I don't. But the
We
thing is,
need-
are we going to see a Peter that is going to be more open about his identity to other people?
No, he's
he
not going to
went
be
through all this
gonna-
trouble.
he's
Never.
gonna be
He,
more
like, I don't think
secretive.
he's ever going to trust.
I mean,
a person.
I
with
don't
a-
think ever, but you know,
Not immediately.
he could have just done the same thing that he did with MJ and Ned, but he chose not to because he saw what his identity as Spider-Man brought to the table when it came to involving them in his life. And I think that took a mature decision to decide, you know what,
Right.
I'm happy that they're happy right now, and that's all I want for them. And then
oh,
he
But the
just
thing
goes-
is he could still be Peter Parker with them. He doesn't have to be Peter Parker and Spider-Man.
He has, well, again, it's a very thin line he has to ride. He can go to that coffee shop and for the time being and say hello, get a coffee and leave, but he cannot establish these relationships that could put people in danger, because that was always Spider-Man's shtick. It was like, if my enemies ever found out who's close to me, they would come for them. So
Did
if
they-
Peter, he
Not
can't
only
be best
that,
friends
but-
with them.
Not only that, but they're going to MIT in Boston.
Well, that's why I said for the time being,
Right.
because they're still in
Right.
high school.
I have a question because I can't remember the specifics of the spell. The spell is forget who Spider-Man's identity is
forget
No,
who Peter
as of
Parker
now,
is.
right?
That Peter
Hey,
Parker is
Peter Parker as of now. But is it
Right.
a long going spell where it's like, oh, hey, I'm Peter Parker, everybody, and they forget again, or is it a
No,
one
it
time?
was
I think it's
the
just a
one time.
current.
It's
like,
a one-time thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So
'Cause
he
the
can
original
introduce
spell
himself
was-
as Peter Parker to someone else and be like, "Oh, I'm Peter Parker." Oh, hello, Peter Parker, and
Right.
that's it.
Because
what
I think
I
the,
thought.
the original spell was he didn't want people to know that Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But then the
Right.
new spell was basically who Peter Parker is, period.
Yeah.
So
Right.
So they go
mean-
through life knowing Spider-Man, but just having selective memory on who exactly that person was. That was
Right,
Spider-Man.
right, because that's how they
Which
got
makes
everybody
sense.
to go back.
Which makes
because
sense.
it was like, as long as people didn't know Peter Parker, then everybody would go back. So yeah, that was the.
I want to go back to Strange real quick. Strange and Peter were a mess. They both messed up. Because what is, like you said, what is Strange doing that spell like that?
Well, I just gotta think.
he
Out of all
didn't
the spells
know.
in the world, there's got to be a better spell.
No, I mean, it's
Then
not a
that
terrible
one.
spell, but what is he doing? He's just willy-nilly doing the spell because he feels for the kid.
No, but he didn't realize that it was going to be that bad. Like, it's worked in the past. So he's
Yeah.
like, okay, like, we can do this. But, like, the whole point of this is, like, when Peter started tampering with it, it started getting more and more
Mhm,
complicated.
mhm.
Just like if it was a math equation and you start adding more and more variables, it's going to get harder and harder. And so it got to a point where he's like, okay, I had to contain this because this was gonna freaking blow up the entire universe, you know?
I want to say I was faked out. I thought Peter was gonna have a full magical suit, but he didn't.
What, when
Yeah,
he got the
right.
cape?
No,
Well,
when he
no, 'cause-
wore his suit inside out.
Oh, okay.
That was
Oh
just
my
an inside
god.
out suit.
I
It
still
took
don't
the-
understand how that works.
It took the movie to really see that he wore the suit inside out. This entire time, we thought it was a new suit.
Right.
Which is a fake out. That's a clear fake out.
I think that's hilarious though. Like we're seeing this black suit with like golden stripes, and we're thinking, "Oh man, what new suit is
I
this?"
guess magic be too much plot armor. Fair enough.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Oh, also when Doctor Strange knocked him out of his body, did anyone
yeah.
else notice his spirit had the little squigglies?
yes,
Yeah, the
yes,
spider
the
sense
spider
going on.
sense.
Yeah.
I like
That
that.
was cool.
That was
Oh my
cool.
god, that's the first live action like physical manifestation of it. We
Of a
actually
spider
see
sense.
it.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
spider sense.
Spidey
That's
sense,
awesome.
yeah.
I like that.
It's also kind of cool that like Spider-Man can astrally go back into his body when nobody else
yeah, he
could.
kind of just
It's
swam
strange.
back, like
Yeah.
like he was underwater.
His senses
I
are
guess.
just natural instinct.
His natural
tingle.
instinct. Yeah.
That mean Darce, are you familiar with the Ezekiel plotline in Spider-Man?
Rejog my memory.
It's the one with the old man, and he was like, "Oh, Peter, like you were chosen from like to be a totem of the spider."
Yes.
Isn't that related to that?
I felt like it was something a little bit like that on that end, because this whole movie to me felt more of like these are the chosen people, because like Ned knowing magic, you know, that's a little bit more of that chosen plot line as well. And like it also alludes to Nexus like beings, and like you're always meant to be this sort of spider, or like with Wanda, she's always the Scarlet Witch, you know, like she's the Nexus being. Like that just proves that Tom Holland is the totem of like the spider, you know, like he is the one that is supposed to be Spider-Man, because he can have full control of his astral form outside of the Spider-Man body, you know.
Right.
I mean, the movie was good. I loved the extra cameo that we got from Charlie Cox as
Matt
Daredevil.
Murdock.
We got
I
some
honestly
Matt
geeked
Murdock
out
over
more
here.
for that scene than any other scene.
Yeah.
Because it was so unexpected. I wasn't expecting it that early. It was just the first 10 minutes and bam, right there.
Loved it. I loved it. I loved also that he caught the brick and
Oh,
before
yeah.
Spider-Man
Yes.
could. And he's like, "How did you do that?" And he's like, "I'm a good lawyer."
I'm a good. That's all I needed. That's all I needed. But then it begs the question: is this the Netflix series Daredevil, or
Hold
is
up.
this?
Hold the phone, because I know Rose has not watched Hawkeye episode 5.
Not yet, but that's okay.
No, yeah, it's nothing that
I
spoils
mean, have you been
it.
spoiled? I mean, I don't know.
I know where it's alluding to based on the first 4 episodes.
Okay.
So
but-
I don't know what's
yeah.
gonna come with. Well, I kind of know. I think I've spoiled myself just.
well,
by
I mean,
being on
like
the internet. But
even
I think it's a
without the
Netflix.
illusions-
I think it's a Netflix at the Netflix inclusion.
So
No?
it's like a direct, like, you know, the Netflix series
connect.
happened, and now he's here.
It's too much to do a reset.
Yeah, but let
Okay.
me ask
And
you
they're in the
this.
same suits. You know,
Yeah.
he's in the same
Yeah.
suit.
That's
That's
true.
him.
That's
The other
true.
thing that I can't mention is in the same suits.
You
Come
can
on.
mention it.
Well, the alternative was, you know, those characters, instead of recasting them, they're just so iconic in their roles. They're like, all right, well, we're just gonna bring them into the MCU, but we're gonna do our own version of those
Right.
characters in the MCU.
Here we go. I'm ready. J. Jonah Jameson already being in Homecoming universe, but always
Yeah.
also in Toby's universe.
we don't even.
Is there a
it could've
correlation
also
there?
been, Andrews. We never
Is there
saw
a correlation there that we don't know about?
What, like every universe, there's always gonna be J.K.
Uh,
Simmons as
Yeah.
J. Jonah
Just
Jameson.
like-
He is a Nexus being.
He's
I
he's
just
the
wish
next,
they
he's
would have
the
did it like a
constant.
little. I wish they would have did a little nod to that or something. I was
That
like
would've
waiting
been
for them to
funny.
say like he had like somehow made his way into the universe of Spider of this one.
I
That
know
makes
they
the
did it
only
already
Nexus
in the
beings.
Spider-Verse movie, but I wanted to get the Spider-Man meme where they're all pointing at each other, all the
Missed
Spider-Man.
opportunity.
The missed opportunity.
They
They're all-
already did that.
We needed live action. That's all we wanted. That's all I wanted.
It'd have been hard to put in, but that'd have been
It
strictly
would've.
for
Well,
fun.
they kind of
Um,
did it. They said, "I thought I was Peter 1. No, you're Peter 2.
Oh, gosh,
no,
that
I'm
was-
Peter 3."
Oh my God,
That was a slight dig at the ranking of the films, no, of the Spider-Man, no.
Oh, kind of. 'Cause,
When,
Oh,
Peter
Garfield
1
was like
was
2. He was like, I'm 2. When
Andrew was like,
and he was 3.
"I'll be
Oh.
3."
Oh my God.
Everybody else got a third film.
Everyone
man.
else. Oh my God, that's funny. That's funny. I guess overall with the movie, what did you guys think of the first act? I was telling Grandmaster, I don't know. I walked out of the first act thinking that was kind of slow. I understand they had to build up and kind of set up the stage for, showing how Peter's reacting to the world around him and what led him to going too strange. And then multiverse collapses in, then we get Doc Ock and all the cool villains. But
Hold
the
up.
first act, I felt like it was a little slow.
First act ends where the Scooby-Doo shit starts the second act.
I would
Like
say so.
No.
Scooby-Doo.
The
Scooby-Doo
second
the
act, I think
shit.
the first act ends on the highway.
Oh, you
I would
think
say
the
on the
first act
highway.
ends on the highway?
Yeah. Once
So-
Doc Ock comes
the
in,
second act
it's starting to
begins on
get the
the
second
highway.
act.
Okay.
Oh,
The second
okay.
act begins on the highway. I agree.
Well, then I actually liked the first act. I think I liked the first act. I thought the first act was really strong.
Okay.
It gives you some time in that new, like, game-breaking universe that Mysterio caused. You know, you get to
Right.
live in that world
You don't want
where
to rush it.
Peter has to live with, like, his identity being everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
You're watching Peter, cope and
And
maneuver.
it's nice that what made him I guess it was a culmination of a lot of things, but the triggering point that actually made him go to Strange was the MIT situation, because at that point he realized, I'm literally ruining the lives of the people closest to me.
Yeah.
Right.
I got no other options. I
Yeah.
gotta go to
Wait a minute.
Strange.
You didn't think to call and plead your case before?
I don't even know
making
that
me
was an
do this
option.
film?
Well, I mean, like he should have tried with, like, I can't get into MIT. My aunt keeps on getting, like, harassed by the police. Like, we have to relocate. Like, if he would have, like, pleaded his case a little bit more, I think Strange would have been like, all right, cool, like, we can do it. But just for the MIT and that's it, like, dang, like
That's hilarious that he actually went to, like, one of the admissions officers, like, in a suit on the bridge. That's why he was there. That's why he
And
wanted to-
honestly, I mean, I know we're talking about the first act, but it sucks because honestly, he fixed it. He fixed the situation.
yeah.
It
right.
was just that the spell had to be reversed. So,
And
you know.
also, I really have to give them props because if you really think about it, there was only one time in this movie where Tom Holland Spider-Man wasn't trying to save people.
one time when he wasn't, when he's beating the crap out of Green Goblin?
Yep.
I
It was
actually
rage.
like that scene. It
His
was
rage,
showing
right.
that it was rage. It was showing that he wasn't perfect. Like he could have that uplifty, goofy side to him leading up to that point. But then once he's presented and for an opportunity to kill the person that, made his life a little bit more darker, he still took it. I think that shows that he's still a person at the end of the day. He's not perfect. Most people
Right.
would take that opportunity. And then I like, again, even though I don't like the fake out, I did like that Toby was the one that stopped him, because Toby is probably the one person in there that actively killed someone, which was the Uncle Ben killed, quotation marks.
yes, Uncle Ben, yes.
Uncle Ben's killer. And he even said it in this movie. He said, I had an opportunity to get revenge on the person that took someone from me, and it doesn't fix it. It doesn't
Right.
make it go away. And he didn't want that on Tom's conscience. But I'm surprised Tom still went for the kill. He was ready with that glider. He wanted to impale him.
And I mean,
And-
Andrew was setting it up too. He was saying, like, like after the death of Gwen, I couldn't keep my punches. Like, I couldn't pull back my punches. I was letting them rip.
Which
Like,
how I wanted to ask about that. Like, so like there was a time in, I guess, the time between he fought Rhino and
No, meaning when he was deflecting those Rhino missiles, he said, I don't care if anybody gets hit by this missile. I'm mad.
So staying true to who he is. Sure.
Right.
staying true to who he is, of course.
He told the kid, I'll take you from here, and then immediately parries the missile right to him.
Horrible.
Oh my God, fits the character, asshole Peter. Fantastic.
Yes. Oh, I'd like to point out, Green Goblin was eating all those punches. There ain't no blood.
Oh, he was laughing.
Right, he ate every single one. Just wanted to point that out. And I also like to point out, I just read this. Willem Dafoe did all his own stunts.
Yes, he did.
What?
Interesting.
He wasn't. Yep. He
All
said he
his
did not
own
want to return
stunts.
unless he did his own stunts. So
No
shout out
way.
to Willem.
Just probably had a lot of
That's what's
wiring
up.
for the flipping and stuff, but
Oh yeah.
Right.
that was
Oh
him,
no,
man.
he actually slammed Tom
he
Holland
was
through
slamming
3 floors.
Well, Tom Holland stunt double.
That was practical.
That's
Yeah, Tom
wild.
couldn't handle it, but Willem could.
Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm over here watching this. I'm like, Willem is old, but his
He
son
is old. He's 66, I think I saw.
He's
And
still rocking.
66 and still got kicks. Let's go.
Peter.
Peter. Oh my God, the fact that
He did a great job. I think Willem Dafoe, even though as much as a Doc Ock fan I am, I think the Green Goblin stole the show.
yeah,
Oh,
He
yeah.
did.
for
yeah.
sure.
I mean, once Doc Ock had his, like a turnover, a new leaf.
I thought it was going to be the opposite. I thought the whole movie was going to be based off of Doc Ock, and Willem Dafoe was going to be like on the side. But this was great.
I thought Doc would be more helpful actually.
Mhm.
But he
Um,
He
kinda-
helped out towards the end. But
yeah,
I
but
guess,
he was already he already had the chip fixed early
right.
on.
He played a more central role.
But that's
um,
okay.
I'm guessing
It's,
that
it's
electric
Peter's
blast
story.
kind of hurt a little bit.
It
getting
is
back out
Peter's
of an
story.
apartment. But all right, how about final thoughts on the movie? How would you guys rank this amongst the
Including bonus scenes?
bonus scenes?
Strange don't count. That was a whole trailer.
That was the whole trailer. That was different.
No, that's the whole. Oh, I mean, I guess, yeah. We could talk about it real quick. The end credit scene. Well, 2 end credit scenes. I completely forgot
the
about
fake
them.
out.
Well, the fake out with
Fake out.
what? Venom,
Venom.
right? We got teased in Let There Be
It's
Carnage.
not a
of
fake out.
Venom coming
Such
in.
a fake out.
It is a fake out,
It
and
is
then they
not a
just
fake
shoot
out.
him.
I can tell that Tom Hardy was like, "Oh, Venom is cool, but I really don't want to do this." And so this was a great way to basically say, "Tom, if you want out, tell us." And he said, "Yeah, get me out of here."
Oh no, I don't think that was the case. I think Sony is just like, hey, we play with Marvel enough. I don't think. No,
I don't think.
Tom.
I think it's Disney didn't want him.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
think
think.
Disney
I
wanted it.
don't think Tom, not one bit, would just be like, I don't want to be part of this. Why would he be like that?
No, not Tom, just Disney.
no, I'm
Disney.
saying Tom.
I'm talking about Tom Hardy, not Tom
Yeah.
Holland.
I know you're talking about Tom Hardy.
I think
Yeah.
Tom Hardy
He just-
would want. I think he's
Yeah,
even
Tom
said
Hardy
he
would
wanted
want
to. He
right.
wanted
He
to
totally
do
would
this.
want to.
Are you sure?
Why
I'm-
wouldn't he?
I'm
Why
pretty
would-
sure there's
he-
interviews
I
where
don't
he
know,
said he
after
wants
Let There
his
Be
Venom
Carnage,
interacting
he
with
seems-
Spider-Man.
After Let There Be Carnage, like him as an actor, I felt like he was just like, I don't really care to do this anymore. This is
What?
Oh yeah.
He's totally invested in
As a
Venom.
viewer, I don't care. I don't want to see it. But I think him as an actor, I think he said before he wants to do it. But
Well,
I'm
guess
glad
what? That's
Disney's
not
like,
happening.
no, get him the hell out of here. And they shoot him off and they kept a little piece of him. A
they
little
ripped
piece
his
of
contract and said, "No, thank you.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
We'll keep a little bit of the symbiote. We'll keep that.
We'll
That'll be
keep
an
your cool
interesting-
powers, but you can get out of here."
Get
That
out.
symbiote
of
is
here.
so strong.
I don't
I-
think that Tom Hardy is coming back.
Yeah, he's not coming back.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
just a little
I-
fun little Easter egg to throw in
It
there.
was a nice Easter egg, but he's not coming back.
That was Sony
Right.
saying, remember, we own all these characters.
That is how the symbiote's gonna, play a role. I know we were questioning how is it gonna get from Mexico to New York and kick
Who's
off
questioning
the flight.
that?
But
Me.
listen,
But it came from space to Earth.
All
What's the
right.
longer
Listen.
distance travel?
On
And
a
let there be
meteorite with a
carnage.
trajectory.
and Let There Be Carnage, Cletus Cassidy just bit one little drop of blood from Tom Hardy, and he
And that's all
became
it took.
Carnage instantly
Became
Foolish.
strong too.
and stronger than Venom.
Some foolishness.
So I'll believe it. It'll eventually get to Tom Holland at some point. So There you go.
There
We
you
got
go.
Venom in the MCU, and the end credit scene was a trailer. I did not expect that. Did we ever get a
Fun.
trailer before in an MCU?
We have gotten a trailer. Yes, we have.
We have.
I will remind you where we got a trailer. At
Okay.
the end of Captain America, the first Avenger, we were gifted with a trailer to the
No wonder.
Avengers.
I didn't watch that in theaters.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
okay. I did not know
I
that.
remember this.
It was a trailer. They didn't show much. The most they showed was the Avengers minus the Hulk, and they alluded to the fight in the forest between Iron Man, Cap, and Thor.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
So we got that illusion in well, not Avengers illusion, but we got something somewhat similar. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. And wasn't too much. We just know he meets Wanda. There's shenanigans. We see Miss Chavez coming in.
America Chavez.
I was not expecting her to make her appearance yet, but hey, let's do it.
Let's do
We got a dread-headed Baron Mordo.
it.
Yep.
For some
Yes.
reason.
Yes.
Right, first-
I like his
And
get up
this
better.
movie looks really dark. It looks
He
To
looks
show
better.
a change of
Oh,
time,
yeah.
span of time.
Right.
Oh, he grew
Right.
out his hair.
I-
No
and-
more Sorcerer Strange.
And you can imagine,
Look
you
at
know,
my hair.
him not digging the sorcery after witnessing
Natural
this.
law.
The,
Can't
the-
break natural law.
the multiverse was the last straw. He's coming for that ass on Doctor Strange. He's like, nah,
Oh, he's
man,
mad.
you messed up big time. So
But the biggest reveal, though,
Yeah.
the biggest reveal.
It's Dark Strange.
Is the brains.
Dark
Oh,
Strange.
no, Dark Strange.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Dark Strange.
What if directly tied? Now everyone that skipped What If, you better go back and watch.
And watch
What
that
If.
one episode.
No.
Well, no,
two
technically
episodes.
there's
The last
two.
4
There's
episodes.
two. Well, one. I consider one that's really important.
You
to
can
that.
watch one and then see
The other
you
one
know,
is just kind of like,
what did he do afterwards,
yeah.
and then yeah. So that's still cool. That something like an animated show is gonna have a direct tie into a future MCU project, which is it looks like he's gonna play a major role in that film. So
Nowhere was it alluded to that Dark Strange would appear. Like, as far as like
he made like some theories. Like I think we even said in some of the What If episodes.
What
I don't
if
remember
alluded
us
to it?
ever theorizing
Yeah.
that Dark Strange would appear in
Yeah.
canon.
We did.
No,
Yeah.
we
Multiple
did
times.
not.
Yes, we did, because
did
we
not.
were saying
did not. We
because
did
that was the
not.
whole point of Dark Strange. He's
We
like
never
he's
said
going
Dark
into-
Strange
Maybe
would
you
come on
didn't.
screen. We did
You,
not.
Ethan, you were asleep when we were
I
talking
was
about it.
not
That's
asleep.
right. I
I
remember.
was not. We
Just like you
never
were asleep in the
mentioned
movie
it.
theater for this
I didn't
movie.
fall asleep. I did not fall asleep once in this movie.
You drink a Red Bull.
I sure did.
You need to drink more Red Bulls, friend.
Right.
You fell
and I
asleep
got-
when Willem
we definitely
Dafoe
did allude to it. We did.
when Willem Dafoe said, "I'm a bit of a scientist myself."
Oh, gosh.
You missed that scene.
No, I didn't. I was right there.
All right. Now that we got the end credit scenes out of the way, overall thoughts. How do you guys rank this amongst the other Spider films?
Oh,
'Cause
this
you
is
got-
really soon.
This is really
I gotta
and-
rewatch it.
and
Yeah, that's really soon for me to put it up.
too soon. Okay, how
We
about
can still
how
talk about it though.
It's not too soon for me. I know where it goes.
How about okay? So I'll let Grandmaster open us up since he's so confident in where he's gonna place this movie. Go ahead. I already know. Okay, yeah, no, you'll go ahead. Where you rank it?
It's towards the top, but I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not better than Spider-Verse. It's not better than Spider-Man 2. Dare I say it may not be better than Far From Home. I think
No.
it might.
No, it's
I think-
definitely better than Far From Home.
I-
Definitely the best out of
If you
the
take
trilogy.
out the nostalgia,
If you take out the
They-
nostalgia, it's
it's-
still because of the story.
I'm gonna
that's
tell you
established
right
repeatedly.
now that Mysterio scene was really good, and the Spider Tingle
It
scene
was.
was really good.
It was. Didn't say
I
it
think-
wasn't.
I think this movie suffers from the same problem as a lot of the third films entries do.
I liked it because it was in New York. You can't be a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man in Europe.
Call them out. Call
I'm
them out.
calling it
Okay.
out.
You can.
I think-
It's
I think
fine.
it's-
I don't.
it's
I don't
third
think
place.
location matters.
I think it's in the same limelight where I still think Spider-Verse is number one. Spider-Man 2 is number 2. I think this is a strong number 3. I do think it's a little, well, not a little. I probably have to watch it again, but I'm leaning towards it being better than Far From Home. Maybe a second viewing will solidify that, and I can confidently say, yes, it is better than Far From Home. But I think, especially with all the hype and expectations with a movie like this had coming in, I think that has to be considered. Like they delivered on, I would say 80 to 90% of that.
They delivered. I agree.
One more thing that I did not like. We pretty much predicted this whole movie. Everybody did.
Yeah.
And that made it
after leaks.
Yeah, there's a lot of leaks that were true.
No, but I just mean, like, people would make memes of this stuff. They made memes of the whole, like, yours comes out of your hands, your web comes out of your hands. Like, it was like a checkbox. I was just like checkboxing the things that we've already said were gonna happen.
But you would have criticized it if they didn't have
exactly.
The fact that they included it meant
but that takes away from my enjoyment of sitting there and enjoying the film. It takes away from it. Like, I don't remember.
You would never be happy. You would never be truly happy.
No, what I'm saying is,
just
like,
by that logic, Spider-Man is gonna win at the end. So does that take away your enjoyment?
No. Just because, look, Ethan, I get it. Just because they didn't make Spider-Man 2 doesn't mean like it's not a bad. That's when you'll be happy when they.
It's not a bad. It's
the
not a
sequel
bad
to Spider-Man 2.
No,
that is just Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2.
Listen, it's not a bad film. There's a lot of enjoyable parts. When I watch a film, I like coming in not knowing what's going to happen, and a lot of this film was just checkpoints for me, and it took away from my enjoyment.
There's some tropes that are always in superhero tropes.
There are too.
Right.
No, but you know what? Yeah. I'm gonna take a stand. I'm gonna say honestly, it blew my expectations out of the water. I say it goes on top for me.
Okay.
I think this movie, it means a lot to me. It's very rare that I sit in a theater for the entire runtime of a movie and leave completely happy. I don't think it's ever happened. So it has to go on top.
There you go.
Okay. I wanted one more twist. I wanted one more thing that we did not predict.
Right. Yeah. That would have worked.
More. Yeah. Would have been nice.
Hydro comes out of the.
No one knows who he is anymore. That's the biggest earth shaker.
I can't get over how they finished off. Do I want the best villain story or do I want the best Spider-Man story? I want the best Spider-Man story.
I like villains. Oh.
That's fine. That is fine. We can be.
I mean, I would love both, but
I'm a Slytherin. I'm always about give me the villains, man.
Sure. I like a villain story too, but it's a Spider-Man movie, not a Spider-Man villain movie. Go watch Morbius and figure out if he's a villain or not.
You learn about the heroes by the demons that they have to battle.
But these were not Peter Parker's original demons. These were the other.
Right.
That's the whole point.
No one. That's another thing. We like these villains because they were already pre-established. Maybe that's part of the reason why we liked all the villains and we think that the juggling of 5 different characters was good because we already know who they are from past films. They didn't have to focus in on them too much.
That's a point. Also, I still think it's good based on how we've seen characters be juggled before. I still think they've done it the best way to date, in my opinion. There's still room for improvement, but compared to what we've seen in trying to pair and do stuff, and knocking people out with amnesia, we just have Green Goblin showing up late to the party. That's all.
Right. I'm a bit of a scientist myself.
That's it. That's all I needed. That's all.
One thing that they threw in there just for the funsies of it is Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool just popping in, be like, "Oop,
why not?"
And then just goes through.
What? Yeah, I would have been fine with that. Yeah, just throw away Easter egg. That would have been nice.
Just a random little, "Oop," and then walk
Not
away.
my multiverse. Oh, you gotta back up.
You're like, "Ooh, this looks messy," and just like disappears.
Oh man, now that I think about it, that would have been a good one to do. Oh well.
Even if he was like jokingly being like, "Oh, you guys are kind of hot," and then run away, because there's always that like little Deadpool Spider-Man like little
They
rivalry.
have a dynamic.
Yeah. I mean, Spider-Man and Daredevil also have like a really cool like little
They do.
team ups that they do. But Deadpool and Spider-Man are also very iconic with their team ups.
Yeah.
Very, very. That's true.
Who
It's
knows?
a great movie. It's a great movie.
It was
Still
a great
enjoyable.
movie.
Still very enjoyable.
It's a
Very
great movie.
enjoyable.
And if you're a Spider-Man fan, you'll enjoy it even more, I feel.
For
If you're
sure.
a fan of any of the old films, you're gonna be left satisfied. I would say Sam Raimi's or all two of you that are fans of Andrews, but Amazing Spider-Man had moments. Fine, whatever. But yeah, we're left in an interesting state with Peter. Like we said before, he has no one now, and we'll see where we go from here. I mean, especially with the villain pool, because they've already used his more iconic villains already.
The
for
more out
multiverse.
there.
Well,
There's
there's
more.
definitely more out there.
There's
Yeah.
more, yeah.
They're gonna probably get to Venom.
We're
Right.
gonna go back to Vulture and him
I mean,
being in prison. Yeah, and
Right.
Well,
Scorpion.
Craven will come in at some point.
Remember, this was originally supposed to be a Craven film.
That's
In,
right.
in the early production stages, this was supposed to be.
I'm okay that it's not.
I'm
It'd have
glad
been a
it's
little
not.
tougher to work with.
We'll take
Scorpion.
Craven at
I think
some.
I've read somewhere though that it was supposed to be a team up though of him and Black Panther with Craven.
I
Interesting.
never heard anything about that.
We just
No,
know
but
Craven
But then
was
Black
involved.
Panther like blew up the way that it did, and then it was kind of like, let's
interesting.
fit someone else in it.
Interesting.
Right.
I just want to say that they were supposed to market. Apparently, they were supposed to market this movie, by not including any of the villains. They were just gonna be like, "Ooh, Doctor Strange and Spider-Man are fighting." No one would have gone to see this film
Doc and
if we didn't know that.
That
any
sounds
of these
so
people were,
hard.
like in it.
That sounds so hard to do.
But
Yeah.
Right.
just imagine the shock that it would have been when we expect the Spider-Man Doctor Strange film, and then suddenly Alfred Molina comes out of the floor. That would have been
So,
something.
yeah.
We would have been floored.
That would have been.
Oh,
a good
yeah.
film. Yeah. But all right, I would say that wraps up
Give me
this
Miles.
week's episode. Give me Miles.
Jamie
You've
Foxx
alluded to
said.
Miles long enough, Marvel. Give us Miles. We're ready for
I
it.
just needed to get that out there. The Black Spider-Man
Thought he might
line.
show up in the end credit. Thought he might show up.
No,
I
we don't
think-
need it yet. We don't.
I
Need
No,
think
we
it
don't.
yet.
We don't.
We
You're
don't
right.
need it yet.
You're
I
right.
think in the next
the
Spider
Spider-Verse
outing,
#1.
we might get more references to him. Maybe not a full-on appearance, but I think we're gonna start leaning towards.
Well, I'm sorry. He's
that.
too young in the Tom
Yeah.
Holland universe, right?
We'll just keep
Yeah.
seeing Uncle Aaron until he puts some claws on.
I mean, if we ever see him again.
If we ever see him again.
That's right. That's right.
but we
But-
might be able to see Spider-Gwen.
Into the Spider-Verse too. Yeah.
Possibly.
Oh yes,
you know,
there.
All
yes.
right,
There might be a
fine, we'll
Gwen
get
here.
that.
There might
I'll
be
be
a
happy with
Gwen.
that.
We don't know. We don't know.
One day.
But we'll wait and see. If you guys haven't seen Spider-Man No Way Home, go watch it if you can cop yourself a ticket.
Why are you listening to this podcast?
Why are you this far in
What are you
listening
doing?
if you haven't
Go
seen it?
right
You
now.
clearly listened to it at this point.
Still go watch it.
Still go watch it. Watch it 2 or 3 more times. Watch it enough so you can get all the little Easter eggs, all the little references. I do want to watch it again just so I can get a freeze frame of that multiverse bit where we saw Scorpion and the rest of the. I bet you there's way more characters in that
Oh, yeah.
you know, content creators gonna be
We
breaking
gotta go in
down.
IMAX Dolby. That's what we gotta do.
That's what
Get
I'm
the full
doing on
frame.
Monday night.
Get the full.
Back again.
All right, but if you guys liked what we had to say for Spider-Man No Way Home, don't forget to drop us a like, share us around, leave a comment on what you thought of the movie. Did it live up to the hype? Were you left underwhelmed? Did you enjoy Toby and Andrew coming in with all the confirmed rumors that we've gotten over the last several months? It's crazy. It's crazy that the rumors were true. The interviews were red herrings, and I liked it. It was fantastic.
And great musical score.
Great musical score too.
Mm.
Surprisingly, yeah. I did not
Shout
expect
out to
that.
Giacchino. He even
Did a very
incorporated
good
the
job.
other scores in there.
Yeah.
Shout out
He
to him.
did.
Did a very good job. Very good job. But give us a listen, share us around YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You guys know it. We're everywhere. All of them. Just, click share all, you're done for the day. But with that, I am your Yonkō host, DrJaceAttorney, fellow Yonkō GrandMasterHoop, supernovas, NinoDesplazado, Spider Darce, and Rose the Crafter. Signing off. Take care, everyone, and go into your own Spider-Verse.